CBS from a podcast called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thursday Want to Talk to You," and I think and I said, you don't have to tell me what it's about. I said, if it's called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty," you definitely don't need to tell me what it's about, and I'm going on. This is what I want to do.
It's a Seinfeld podcast. It's called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty." But I thought, this is what a podcast should be.
I just did the Seinfeld guys pod the other day. I came up with
these pretzels are making me thirsty.
Oh,
that one. Shout out. We've done it. I've done it. Have you did it?
I've not gotten a chance to do it yet. I'm looking forward to it.
It's so fun. They're so fun.
When I don't know, it must have shown up in my feed, but I see these guys tweeting about Seinfeld. I'm like, oh, what's this? And I find it's a podcast called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty."
One of the most popular Seinfeld podcasts is "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty," co-hosted by Chris O'Hara and Tony Chulin.
This podcast is making me thirsty, the number one destination for Seinfeld fans. This is 2 Up and 2 Down. Here's our producer, Chris, to start us off.
All right, welcome back, Thirsty fans. We got another episode of 2 Up and 2 Down, and today we're going to discuss a season 4 episode, "The Wallet." And to start us off is Chris. What do you got with your first up?
All right, season 4, "The Wallet," written by Larry David. Can't believe it. I mean, this was on Wednesday night. Only 17.6 million people watched this. I mean, half of what The Butter Shave got. Unbelievable. 5th episode of season 4. Little fun fact. Well, what else was on that night, folks? ABC, Home Improvement, which won the night. CBS had Haunted Lives. I don't know what that is. And Fox, if you remember this is 1992, before the election, it was Rock the Vote, if you guys remember that. That was kind of a big deal back then on Fox when everyone came out and did their thing. We all remember that election, Perot, Clinton, and HW. All right, here we go. So 2 ups, 2 positives, and 2 negatives. So here we go. You know what? I'm going to kick it off with the big matzo ball, as Tony always says. This episode, it's named probably better than any episode in Seinfeld history, "The Wallet," because you all know what I'm talking about. Morty at the doctor's office. So, him at the doctor's office, but before he says the big line, but him just in the thing, "Let's go already." He's crazy. It's so funny. And then obviously, "My wallet's gone. My wallet's gone." It doesn't really get better than that. That's Morty in a nutshell. Seinfeld in a nutshell. One of the greatest lines of all time. And it's only three words. "My wallet's gone." So for me, I'm going to kick off with Morty. Heck of an episode for the old man. Obviously, he came up, had the back problems. Went to see the doctor. So "My wallet's gone" is my first thumbs up.
Yeah, that's an all-timer. I love that line. And I had a college roommate. Anytime he was leaving the dorm room, he would always say, "My wallet's gone. My wallet's gone." So, yeah, everybody loves that. So great up there. So, Tony, what's your first up?
Yeah, listen, I want to be clear here. I may have to double down because it sounds like you're taking "My wallet's gone." Really, you're saying yes, great Morty episode, but I think this is beyond a great Morty episode. This is Morty's greatest episode. I got a paragraph written down on Morty. All right, O'Hara took "My wallet's gone." I'm taking all of Morty. I think this is Morty's best episode of the series. It's unbelievable. With Jerry when they think Crazy Joe Vo's after him, I'll make a few phone calls. Great line. And then maybe some people don't like him. I can see that. Another great line. O'Hara touched on this, but in the doctor's office, "You got my name and number. That's enough. Everything sexually transmitted disease," because I'm done with filling out old people hate filling out the paperwork at the doctor's office. They hit the nail on the head with that one. O'Hara touched this a little bit before "My wallet's gone," but what kind of racket you got? What kind of clip joint you have running here? Are you kidding me? Every word he says is amazing. "You got my name. You got my address. That's enough. They keep you in a new year. They don't give a damn." He's yelling outside, yelling out the door. It's unbelievable. This is Morty's by far best episode for me. "My wallet's gone," an all-timer. I'm taking everything else and putting that as an up as well, just to double down on Morty, because I think Morty. Oh, I'm taking advice from Leo now. He says But he's had everything. He even throws shade at Leo. I mean, the whole thing is unbelievable. The guy was great. Just so good. In the car with the pain with Jerry and everything like that. Just so good. That's my first up is Morty Seinfeld.
Yeah, a terrific Morty episode. So definitely Morty as a whole up is all to himself is definitely worth it. So Chris, over to you. What's your second up?
Nice little double down there, and we listen. We know Tony loves Morty. I mean, geez, it's unbelievable. And it's funny. The receptionist you mentioned, receptionist. You know who she is, huh? Mrs. Teasley from 90210. But not only that, she was the mother, Robert Hooks' wife in Breakfast at Tiffany's, the episode. So
that's where I recognized her more. Not so much Teasley, but now you said it. I think Teasley, yeah. I got you on that one.
Teasley and the mother from Breakfast at Tiffany's. So she was incredible. This episode's got a lot. You gave a lot there. The Leo stuff, it's funny. I talked to Dr. Dan Brown's son. He told me to do personal. I'm not going to use that because you probably have enough.
Personal favor. The second time you said personal favor.
Yeah, exactly. So listen, the old timers kind of stole the show here for sure. You know what? Listen, I mentioned it. It's the 5th episode of the season. It's also Elaine's return. And boy, did she come back with a bang. I mean, Elaine saying, Federal Express, Federal Express. I mean, who says Federal Express? It's FedEx, right? But anyway, and then that dance when she came in, an all-timer. I know you see it all over the GIFs and memes and all that stuff. But boy, if that does put a smile on your face, and then just that discussion, I missed you too. Everyone's saying they missed each other. And then, just to fast forward to the breakup scene with Dr. Reston. I know producer Chris, one of his favorites, her trying to squirm her way out of it. And remember that sexual fantasy with the Asian woman, or whatever that was. That whole thing was funny. And her saying, sexual, and mentions Kramer. I mean, Elaine came back strong, and not a lot of scenes, but the scene when she came back, and then obviously with Dr. Reston and that hold that he had on her, and you could feel it. It's great acting by Julia in that scene. So boy did we miss her, and boy did she come out of the bang. So I'm gonna give Elaine my second thumbs up.
All right, yeah, thank you, Chris. And yes, I do like Dr. Reston. So shout out to Stephen McHattie for playing the doctor. So Tony, over to you. What do you got for your second up?
Yeah, and shout out to Steve Scrovan for the Svengali line, which is an all-timer.
Very seldom did we have these group discussions. It was usually Larry and coming into our room. He's got an idea. He wants us to maybe elaborate on it, and then he goes back and writes it up. It's not like we all worked it out together. But this, we were kind of discussing what some of the possibilities were, and they were talking about how, this psychiatrist had this hold on Elaine because he knew all her secrets. And I said, oh, yeah, so he's like a Svengali. And Larry goes, Svengali? Did you say Svengali? And I said, I don't know, did I say, is that what I said, Svengali? And somebody said, Svengali? And I didn't think anything of it until the table read, when there's a little sequence in the show where Elaine is saying, he's got this hold on me. He's like a Svengali. And Jerry goes, Svengali? And she goes, did I say Svengali? And he goes to George, and George goes, Svengali.
Yeah, listen, Reston, I the up there sounds like it's for Elaine, which I agree with. We'll get there though. I've been urinating a lot, and the dream with the Chinese woman, good stuff. And I agree, Federal Express is great. Listen, I thought O'Hara was going to go with this for his first down. Since he went with Morty, I got to go with this for my second down. Costanza with Jerry. What? You don't hear me?
It's your second up.
Second up, yeah.
Yeah, all right. I see what you're doing. You say it up. Oh, no, it makes sense. I know.
You're scared.
Correction. I understand. I'm on a roll. No, my internet went out again. My second up, excuse me. Yes. My young friend, we're negotiating. This is what you do in business. I mean, this is O'Hara's favorite. I'm surprised you didn't go with this first. Comedy, some a little baseball, but ooh, I'm scared. I'm shaking. I'm shaking. And then Jerry's line. Maybe we should give those two guys with no experience and no idea more money. I still laugh every time Jerry says it. It's unbelievable because these two clowns had this exact same thing. I mean, they must have taken this right out of the real deal. I mean, Larry David was fuming. Ted Danson gets brought up. I think this is the first time, maybe second time is Ted Danson. Unbelievable. I just love what Costanza thinks he knows what he's doing, acts like he's smart. It's so good. It's really good Costanza. It sets up a lot that we're going to see down the line, but this is the start of it with the negotiation. That's my second up.
All right, so that's the two ups from each of you. So we're going to go to the downs. And Chris, start us off. What's your first?
I'm shocked I didn't take that as well. I had it in there, but for some reason the Elaine thing just caught my eye in the moment that I went with it. But yeah, negotiated. Some comedy, relationships. He says relationships. Like, come on. Anyway, incredible stuff. There's a bunch of more ups I do have, but name of the game here is 2 up and 2 down. You know what? Tony's not gonna like this one, but I gotta give. This episode might have been a little too much Morty. Can I say that? Especially Morty complaining about the Velcro. That tearing, it's a great Morty voice, but Morty, enough already. Just calm down. The yelling about the 20 minutes is one thing. My wallet's gone, remarkable. Some of the stuff Tony touched on, but the tearing with the Velcro never sat well with me. I don't know why. The whole wallet thing, the Velcro upsets people. I never heard of such a thing. I know he's a cranky old man, but I think Velcro is kind of fun, right? So a little down to Morty, mostly on the Velcro stuff. So again, I have a Morty up and I had a Morty down. And Tony's got a full Morty. What does that mean? We'll find out in grades.
All right, there's a little hiccup there in Morty with Chris's opinion there. So Tony, over to you. What's your first down?
Well, not too fast because I actually didn't write a lot of downs down, and since he said that, I'm going to go with one of the ones I wrote down. I agree with you though in the Morty Velcro thing. It's more of a Frank Costanza thing, if anything. I can see Frank getting upset about Velcro, but Morty flipped out right there like Frank usually does. So good call. I kind of mentioned this in my up, but to your point, there was a little too much Morty, and for me, it's the beginning, the drive in that car. That airport drive home was a little bit with the whole paying, I'm paying, you're paying, who's paying. If that was all it was, it would have been okay. But I didn't clock it. I should have. That opening scene in that car with the three of them was long, and there was a lot of Morty stuff there. I know they're trying to set stuff up, the back and everything else. But I'm trying to be fair here. I think O'Hara thinks I'm higher on this. Man, I'm going to poo-poo a little bit. I got to poo-poo a little bit. We got to be fair. And the first thing I wrote in my down column is I didn't write any downs down. I don't have a lot here. And since he touched on it, I will say I can see a little bit too much Morty as well, but I'm going at the beginning of it all. I thought that's opening scene was a little too long. So that's my first down.
All right, there is too much of a good thing, I guess. So, all right, Chris, back to you. What's your second down now?
Interesting. I put two opening car. I like the two opening scenes, are both car scenes. It's more like early '90s New York, but to me that was relatable. The father and son fighting over the check like at dinner. But I feel you. And then George. Then it kind of just went right into the car with George, which I thought that was nice. Anyway, that's Sharonis for you. What can I tell you? All right, yeah, downs is there's a couple lines here and there. And you guys might laugh at this one, but Dr. Denbrow, loved his hair, the whole thing. But, he didn't seem concerned at all about Morty's wallet. I got a problem with that. You're running a business here. You got bedside manner. This old man flew up from Florida. And we know the wallet ended up in the couch. I get it. But he's just going right back to the chart. Do you want to see the x-rays or not? Kind of a douchey move. by Dr. Denbrow. I like the name, and I like his whole look, but I didn't like his attitude. So for me, Denbrow, I don't care if his son is in the building with Leo. He's getting it down.
All right. That's a good call. Thank you. Tony, over to you. What's your second one?
I like it. I like it. Yeah. What kind of clip joint you running here? Right? He's a bum. Morty called him a bum like 3 or 4 times. I love it. I'm going between 2 downs here. I'll save my other one, I think, for my grade. So I'm going to go a little nitpick one here. That's a big thing with me. It's one of the things I have against the finale. It happens sometimes in Seinfeld. I don't like when it happens. I know why they're doing it. Everyone in the comments can tell me why they're doing it. I get it. I just don't like it. It's these flashbacks. Jerry getting the watch thrown in the garbage, Leo finding the watch. They got to fill us in on those details that we already know. And if you don't know about it, then tough. And then you can figure it out within the context of the show. You don't need to go back. This isn't the Brady Bunch or something. It feels like an old sitcom move, show the old flashback of prior episodes to get everyone caught up. Watch the episode to get caught up. Watch it in real time. I feel like it's an insult to the viewer. Obviously, I get why they're doing it. It's to give context and let everyone catch up that maybe didn't see that episode. But I never liked it. I think you can just go ahead and just talk about it. Or, Jerry ends up telling Leo anyway. I threw the thing in the garbage. He told Kramer. You don't have to show it. We don't need to go back there and look at it. Little nitpick. But I've never been a fan of it, and so that's my second down.
Thank you, Tony. So that's everything, the 2 ups and the 2 downs. So wrap it up with your grade, your final thoughts here, Chris. What do you got?
Interesting. Listen, Tony is consistent. He hates that crap. I didn't mind it. A little fun, little picking up the garbage, a quick little one. But hey, my partner don't like those things. You gotta, if you're not watching, you're not watching. All right, here we go. And I don't know where he's going. He sounds a little, a little down. I'm never down on season 4. Okay, I'm never down on Larry David. We talked about the opening car scenes I liked. How about Kramer? Who's better than Kramer? Popping in with the parents, asking about the watch. What's taking so long? Jimmy Sherman. Kramer knows everybody. He'll go in there. We'll take care of it. The Calamine lotion line. I didn't love that with Jerry, talking to Kramer after. You touched on negotiating speech. It's just George with Susan. She's like, this is a standard deal. And he's like, yeah, okay. Did Jerry know about this? Boom, right out of the gate. We talked about Elaine. Even the stand-up. You guys forget this. This is almost an hour episode, but they are 2 different episodes, The Wallet and The Watch. And I loved his stand-up at the end. He talks about to be continued and, how frustrating that is. And he just says, Timmy's still stuck in the cave. Because there's only, 3 minutes left. I love Timmy. Obviously they used that in the Double Dip episode. I wonder if there's some connection there. Who knows? And then we talked about the receptionist, George eating peanut butter, Dr. Reston. All right, Bobo. I love that Bobo stuff. Very funny. Dr. Denbrow's son. A lot going on in this episode. To Tony's point, the parents did elevate it. And even Leo, I think we talk about a lot. Sometimes it's too much Leo. This was just a nice peppering of Leo right there at that restaurant, right? And the Big Four, did their thing. When the Big Four do their thing, you got the parents, you got Reston, you got Denise Dowse, the receptionist. There's not many downs. Is it A+? No. Is it A? No. But this is season 4. The wallet's an A-. It's, my wallet's gone. That alone might give it an A-. And then you touch on everything else I touched on. I think it's a fair grade.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Chris. I think that's a solid grade for this episode. But Tony, we're interested in your thoughts here. What do you got?
Yeah, with to be continued. My dad, every time a show with to be continued, he just to be continued. He'd be so mad. Funny stuff there. That's what used to happen in those shows. This was one of those to be continued, like I mentioned, hour long. We're splicing it in 2. listen, he brought up a lot of good points. I mean, the biggest points he brought up is season 4 Larry David, right? Which is why I think he went A minus. He says the four. I don't know if the four really gave it their all. I think George had his ultimate negotiating line. You know, you're right. Elaine was great with the doctor. She was great on the entrance. K-Man with Jimmy Sherman was good stuff. It's kind of all the K-Man gave you. Jerry, I think the Big Four almost gave you everything. I think, to his point, I think it's an amazing Morty episode, probably the best Morty episode of all time. Leo did great. Anything he missed, I'm just trying to look. I did have the same thing with the stand-up bit, that the where you touch your face, the worst relationship, which Jerry uses in the show itself as well. He used that bit a lot. It's an old bit of his. Miss Fanjali we mentioned. See, the psychiatrist I did have as a down because I thought it was a little too much with that guy. I know they bring him back. You know, he keeps coming with Kramer of season and everything else. Was a little too much with Reston. I don't know. Listen, I got every point O'Hara gave, and I love this episode. He almost talked me up, but I'm going to stick to my guns here. I'm going to be tough but fair. I got a B plus for the wallet. I don't quite have it as an A minus. I think, you know, nothing's going to drop below a B plus in season 4 probably, and most are going to be in the A range. I feel like because this is combined with the watch, maybe there's something there where you kind of look at it that way. I don't know, but I just don't know if we got enough out of Kramer, enough out of Elaine, enough out of Jerry. I just feel like it was a lot of Morty, like I said, one of Morty's best. And usually that sways O'Hara when the Big Four don't deliver and it's these guest stars peppered in. He thought the Big Four delivered more than I think I did.
Now,
aside from the negotiating,
it's a to be continued. So
I know, but we're grading it as a singular.
Yeah, but there is a to be continued. So it's like I thought they gave enough based on that, but
I thought
you still give it
helps them that it's a shorter episode. I'm thinking a B plus is a positive grade. If we look at it as a whole, it might have brought it down more, but I think you're right. It packed a lot in. You know, I just think Morty stood out in this one, and I don't know if I can go full A all the way. So I'm going B plus. I'm going high B plus. If that makes sense. You know, 89. You know, pretty much my life. So that's my grade, B plus for the wallet.
Yeah, I think that's again a fair grade. You know, this is right there with the A minus B plus area. So yeah, the wallet kind of gets overlooked in season 4 because again, it's such a strong season. But these are great grades for this episode, and I think that it's worthy of that. So thank you all for tuning in for another episode of Two Up and Two Down. We'll see you on our next one.